Hunk 6.3. As you probably know, Hunk allows you to search data in Hadoop and NoSQL. With Hunk 6.3, we added three main features. First, we added the ability to archive historical data to Hadoop or S3 to lower TCO by moving the age data to a low-cost commodity storage. Second, we enable the ability to intelligently search across real-time and historical data with a feature we called unified search. And third, we open the door to data scientists who do not know the Splunk language but want access to the Splunk archive data. With the new Splunk archive reader for Hadoop, these data scientists and analysts can now use their traditional Hadoop tools like Hive and Pig right on top of the Hunk data. First, let's take a look at the archiving feature. Under Settings, Virtual Indexes, Archived, we see the ability to create new archive indexes. Once we open this UI, we can see the option to select the Splunk indexer that we want to archive, as well as allows us to go in and determine exactly when, based on time, are we going to archive the Splunk indexer to Hadoop. In this particular case, I already created one example that allows me to go in and take the Splunk Access Combine index and move it into the Hadoop directory called user root archive. Once we have created it, we can then go in, search using Hunk the indexer. We can also then take the Hadoop data and analyze it and visualize it. For example, I can go and create a query called Splunk Access Combine _archive, pipe to time chart, and Hunk will go in and analyze this data in Hadoop. And as we can see from the job browser, a Hadoop job is running in the background to generate these results that we see on the visualization. The next feature we're going to look at, Unified Search, automatically checks data in both Splunk Enterprise indexes and Hunk archives while skipping the duplicate data. We can enable that feature by adding a flag called VIX, that unified, that search, that cutoff in second, and based on that value, Splunk will either search through the Splunk indexer or search in Hadoop. To see the unified search feature in action, all we need to do once we added the flag to the indexes.conf file, all we need to do is go into the time picker without changing anything on the search and simply select the data that is in Splunk versus the data that is in Hunk. In my case, the demo shows that whenever you go into the time picker and you select data that is before June 9th and click apply and we start the search will go into Hadoop and we can see it via the job browser that a MapReduce job is running right now, and also the UI will take a fairly long amount of time to generate the MapReduce job and give us the result, versus if we just go into the data that is since June 9th, for example, if we go into the data that is after June 10th, and we can see the results coming back immediately, and That is an indication that the data was retrieved via the Splunk indexer. And the main value here is that without changing a single thing on the search, simply by changing the time picker, we can see the unified search in action. The third feature we're going to talk about is the Archive Reader SDK. The Archive Reader SDK opens the door for data scientists to look at the archive data, which is called journal.gz, and enable them to analyze the data using those APIs so that you can go in and use Hive, Pig, MapReduce to analyze the Splunk bucket. To see the bucket reader in action, we have to start Hive with the bucket reader jar file. That takes a few seconds. In this particular case, I created a table called Splunk _event_table _raw data that I uploaded the journal.gz file into. From a normal Hive query, you can do select source, comma time, or any specific column, and that will give us a view into the actual data that is hosted in Hive. As we mentioned, the three main new Hunk 6.3 features are the ability to archive Splunk data to HDFS or AWS S3 to drive down the TCO, the ability to do a unified search, that with a single search you can search both real-time data as well as historical data in Hadoop, and finally the ability to open the door to data scientists and analysts to look at the Splunk historical data using third-party tools like Hive and Pig. To learn more about Hunk, just go into the Splunk website, click on the product Hunk, and look through the product tour to see all the different capabilities around interactive search, result preview, analyze raw data, and the dashboarding that is available as part of the product. Thank you.